Hello everyone, and this is BioPhoenix here, and today we're going to be taking a look at a short one being on the PS1, again, and that being Gamera 2000. Yes, that's right, a game based after the kaiju monster himself, Gamera. And of course it happens to have the word 2000 in the title because, everything at that time had it. You had like Pokemon 2000, Godzilla 2000, Blues Brothers 2000, it's like, Jesus. But anyways, the game was developed by Surveyor and published by Date Digital Entertainment, and was released in 1997 and only in Japan, although apparently this game was going to come out in North America, published by THQ, but unfortunately it never happened. So this game is considered as a rail shooter, very similar to games like Star Fox and Panzer Dragoon, but I'd say more closer to Panzer Dragoon since the heads-up display not only looks very similar, but also, fucking dragons and shit. And as for the story here, there's really not a whole lot to explain here, it's just you're a special team force and the main character is named Jack, and of course you have to fend off the invaders, and Gamera is actually an ally in the game. So that sums that up. It's exactly what you would expect for a Gamera game, but one thing I have to mention is that this game actually uses live action cutscenes, and it's actually all in English, and my god is the acting in here like super cheesy, and I love it. But unfortunately, I'm not going to show any of the cutscenes here because of the reason why I'm doing this review and why I'm making it such a short one has to do with the fact that the review that was supposed to be at episode 182 was going to be Golden Knight Garo on the PS2, but the company Bandai decided to be a bunch of cocksuckers and block the video worldwide. But trust me on this though, if you ever do decide to play this game, watch those cutscenes, they're hilarious. So now, let's get moving on to the main gameplay here. So, like I said, this game pretty much plays exactly like Panzer Dragoon. You're flying around on rails automatically shooting at shit whatever tries to pass by you. And Gamera flies beside you, and you can actually use him to help you out. For that, not only can you hold down the circle button and he'll charge up an attack and just smash right into the enemies. I like using it during the boss battles. But also if you hold down the fire button, then you can actually lock on to multiple targets, and Gamera will just shoot out a bunch of fireballs at them. So not only is there like the spaceship stages, but there's also stages where you're flying around on a flying motorbike where you actually get to see the live actors in 3D, which is kind of funny. And these parts play the exact same way, but only that you don't have Gamera on your side. And I have to mention that this jungle stage awfully looks very similar to the jungle stage within Panzer Dragoon 2. So yeah, if you played Panzer Dragoon before, or hell, even if you played Omega Boost, which is another game that plays similar to this, then you won't be confused by its gameplay or by its controls. And speaking of the controls in here, they're actually really good and responsive. I really can't complain about anything here. I mean, everything is just so easy to get used to. But I guess I should mention that because this game was released in 1997, unfortunately you won't be able to use dual analog, but even with using this game with a D-pad, it is still really easy to use and still really responsive. So now let's get moving on to the other things like the graphics, and graphically, I still think this is a really nice looking game for 1997 especially. There's a lot of really nice bright colors, there's a lot of really cool looking stages, and of course I find Gamera actually does look pretty cool in this one. And all the other monster and enemy designs in the game also look pretty badass too. So for the time when it came out, I think this is actually a pretty impressive looking game. I mean, out of all the other 1997 games I can think of that came out on PS1, this is definitely one of the better ones that I recall seeing. And now, as for the game's music, the music is actually really catchy, really upbeat, and also does have some pretty cool techno vibes to it. I really like it. It suits the game really well, and, well, as again, I really can't complain about anything here. I mean, none of the songs sound annoying, or none of them sound like shit. Everything here is just pretty good. So now, if you wanted to go out and buy this game, now obviously because this is a Japan-only PS1 game, if you do want to buy it, you have to make sure to have a way to play it. And the prices on this game are so all over the place that I have no idea what I can say. I mean, the cheapest I've seen it for was about like $30, and then like the highest I've seen it for was actually going for like $200. And I've seen a couple going for $150, I've seen a couple going for $35, $40, so yeah, I have no idea. But either way though, if you do think it is too much for this kind of game, at least you can always emulate it. And I'm sure most people that are watching this are aware that PS1 games are like really easy to emulate and have been for many years. So now, as for my overall thoughts on Gamera 2000, is that despite the really weird name that this game has, this game is actually really fucking awesome. The game is a hell of a lot of fun, the game is really addicting, and of course everything else that I said about like the graphics and the music is all really good. And it also has the very cheesy acting, which is something that's always very charming to me. Now, even though I have said many times in this review that I can't complain about much, well, there is one thing I could complain about, is that there's only 8 stages in the game, but all the stages are like super short. Like, I actually beat this game in like under an hour. So yeah, I do wish that the game was a little bit longer, or at the very least, like the stages were a little longer, but other than that one little thing though, I think this is a really great game that is totally worth recommending. And this is exactly how you're supposed to do a movie license done right. Because we all know that how many times that Godzilla got turned into a video game and how many of them were done right. Only like a handful. And this game was made by a company that like I never even heard of whatsoever, and well, they did it right. So obviously, if you're a fan of the Gamera movies, or if you're a fan of Panzer Dragoon or any games I play like it, then you'll definitely love this game. And that's all I really have to say about Gamera 2000, it's fucking awesome. And in a strange way, I guess it is kind of a good thing that I end up reviewing this game rather than GoldenEye Garo, because, well, the GoldenEye Garo game, while I did enjoy it for what it definitely wasn't anything amazing. Where this, though, yeah, I would say that this is definitely a really great game that I can recommend to way more people. So I guess you could say it was a blessing in disguise. Well, either way, with that said, thanks for watching and commenting, and have yourselves a great day.